Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a fallout that is happening right now with EA. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely insane how fast their stock is dropping. Initially, when we reported on this, it was only at about 11% of a drop, give or take, when EA made the announcement about Dragon Age the Veilguard and FC25, losing them $500 million between both games. Well, apparently now it's even worse by a long shot. EA is now facing a market meltdown. We have an article here from that Park Place, and it says that the stock has plunged 20% after admitting that Dragon Age the Veilguard was a massive failure. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a glorious market meltdown, the likes of which we don't really get to see too often until somebody really messes up. And thankfully, we now have that admission from EA that Dragon Age the Veilguard and FC25, but let's be real, mostly Dragon Age the Veilguard, lost about $500 million for the company. And where are all those shills? Where are they? Where are the Jason Schreiers? Where are the Booty Adams? Where are the Alyssa McContays, the one who swear they play games? The one that swore that this game was super successful and we're all just hating on it? Where are they again? Nowhere to be found. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Plays. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says Electronic Arts, EA, is facing a financial crisis of epic proportions, with EA stock dropping nearly 20% after the company openly admitted that Dragon Age the Veilguard and EA Sports FC25 failed epically. The fallout from these high-profile disasters has sent shockwaves through the gaming industry, with investors reacting swiftly and decisively to the company's lowered revenue forecast for the fiscal year. The sharp decline began earlier this week, with EA stock plunging on January 22nd from $142 to $125 in a single day. Now, that's when we did our video, when we covered that initially, and yes, that was a pretty big drop. But it's getting worse. It is literally getting worse. Today, the bleeding continued, bottoming out at $116.29 before clawing back just slightly to its current level of $118.58. These numbers represent a staggering blow to a company once seen as a pillar of stability in the gaming industry. And the reason why they call it a pillar of stability is because even though EA is notoriously hated by gamers, at the end of the day, EA makes ungodly money. All right, there's no doubt about it. EA makes disgusting money. And the fact of the matter is, now seeing them tank this hard, this is the lowest they've been in years, guys. Years, okay? Because when I did my initial video, the worst number that I could find similar to where they were at when they were at 120 some odd dollars was back in 2023. Now that they're at $116 or now 118, wherever they're at, now that they are there, I gotta imagine that the number's worse. Now we're talking about years upon years of how bad this stock has dropped. And let's be honest here. Can this stock rise again? Of course it can, right? There's no doubt about it. It's EA. People are going to buy it cheap and hope that it goes back up again. But the chances of that happening anytime soon are very slim. Obviously, it's going to take some time for it to rise back up, and it's going to take some trust for it to rise back up. Because right now, EA is not in a good place between Veilguard and FC25. Investors have lost trust. Investors have lost interest. And I'm sure a lot of people that are here that have investments are mad as hell right now that they're losing 20%. It's disgusting. EA's current predicament was entirely avoidable, which is 100% true, but they're never going to admit that, with many pointing to mismanagement at BioWare and the company's broader embrace of diversity, equity, and inclusion agendas as a root cause of its struggles. Which, listen, it's not everything, all right? It's not everything. The wokeness is not everything, but it's a major factor of it. And it's something that a lot of people want to ignore that are shills for this company or shills for these video games. Let it be very clear, the DEI hiring practices have absolutely led to some terrible people being hired that do not belong there because of their skill set. And let's be real, it's not because of their skin color, because I already know you're going to have people out there, but, oh, you're just racist. You don't want to see POCs. I'm a POC, motherfucker, and I don't want to see those dumbass bitches in there if they can't do the job. Fill their spot with somebody who can do the job. I don't care about the fucking skin color of the person in there. All I care about is whether they can code, whether they can write a story, whether they can actually do good art. That's all I give a shit about. But you guys are so busy worrying about how many women are in your video game company or how many freaking people of color pillar are in your video game company, but none of you want to be there for the accountability when the company ends up taking a tank for it. Look at Corin Bush. Corin Bush left. Right? He left. Corin Bush is gone. The director of BioWare, gone. Right before this announcement. Literally right before, like a couple of days before. Shocking, right? He probably saw the writing on the wall. EA executives probably brought him into the office and was like, dude, listen, we try to support you. We try to show for you. We try to do the whole DEI nonsense, but you just lost us insane amount of money. You lost us $500 million almost. So you got to go. You got to go. We can't fire you because it's bad PR press. We don't want to be known as a company that fired a trans person, but you got to go. We're going to pay you severance and just get out. That's basically it. That's how I really think it went down when it came to Corin Bush and EA. But overall, I mean, how are you going to sit here and pretend like DEI wasn't at least somewhat of a factor in terms of the studio and their ideology and what led to Dragon Age: The Veilguard's creation? It's ridiculous, man. Dragon Age: The Veilguard didn't have to be what it was. Obviously, Dragon Age Dreadwolf was what people were looking forward to, and then we got bait and switched into Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and once that was revealed, everybody was like, what the hell am I looking at? This is disgusting. Anyway, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, which was supposed to be a triumphant return for the beloved RPG franchise, has fallen well short of expectations. Despite projections that it would sell 3 million copies at release and a whopping 10 million over its life cycle, the game only had engaged 1.5 million players as of December 31st of 2024. Do not let these people get away with using terms like engaged with player bases, because they're trying to make it seem as if there was more people playing the game than there actually was, or there was more sales than there actually was. They want you to confuse the 1.5 million player engaged number with sales. That is not true. That is not 1.5 million sales, because what people tend to forget, like I said in my last video, is that EA Play Pro is a thing, and the majority of players were playing on EA Play Pro. So that's not sales. That's not people that actually bought the game. That's not a full retail price tag sale, right? So when you account for the fact that 1.5 million players were engaged, and that's through the entire cycle of all systems, PC, PS5, and Xbox, once you see that that is 1.5 across all the fucking spectrum, now you realize just how much of a failure that is. If you only had 1.5 million players across all systems, and you had a controversial game like this that had a backing of a massive IP like Dragon Age, yeah, you're a failure, bro. You're an absolute failure. The troubles don't end there. EA Sports FC 25, the rebranded successor to EA's FIFA franchise, has also underperformed. A crucial slowdown in sales over the Christmas season compounded the company's financial woes, forcing it to adjust its annual revenue projections downwards by hundreds of millions of dollars. Again, guys, it was $500 million that these two games lost EA. So at the end of the day, man, looking at this stock, I mean, I understand that you guys are watching this video and you're looking at this stock and you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, anybody could have saw that coming, right? Anybody with a brain could have saw that coming. But we need to talk about the overall toxic positivity that's in the gaming industry, where they're looking at this and they're saying, oh, that's fine. Right? All the journalists out there are saying, oh, that's fine. Right? They'll think of an excuse and they'll make up any boogeyman in order to blame for this stock falling anything other than DEI or bad gameplay. Like they'll do anything to defend Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and they're going to completely ignore this probably. They're not even going to talk about it. You're only going to see articles from places like That Park Place or other indie video game journalists. That you're not gonna find it from the mainstream, very rarely, unless they feel like they have no choice and they're forced to talk about it. So ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, EA is taking it up the ass right now, and rightfully so. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you get to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.